Story appears ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello and welcome to CoreTV Primetime News. I am Ebolomo Adekunle. In our major story, Fire Guards Finance Department of the Glasshouse Secretariat of Nigeria Football Federation in Abuja. Also in this program, federal government hails late medical doctor Ameyo Adadevo, who died of Ebola in Lagos, as a courageous woman, rules out fresh case. Federal government denies second strike in Nigerian resident doctors. And outside Nigeria, Israeli airstrikes claim lives of the wife and child of Hamas military chief in Gaza. Now the details. Officials of the Nigerian Football Federation have ruled out sabotage as the cause of the early morning fire that got at the glass house. The fire is believed to have started from the accounts section just after 9 o'clock in the morning, but firefighters stopped it from consuming the entire complex. NFF officials, however, admit that the fire destroys documents in the accounts office.
Nigeria's Football Federation has in recent times been in crisis, but not too many people had expected to see the building that is popularly known as the Glass House go up in flames. That's exactly what happened on Wednesday morning. The fire was said to have begun at the accounts office and had consumed a number of documents before spreading to the other parts. And it took the quick response of firefighters, who had about 6 fire trucks on standby, to put out the flames.
I received the call 2 minutes after 10, and I dispatched the fire plants immediately. And I think they got here something like, say, a quarter past 10. No, with the hold up, with the traffic jam and everything, they can be here around 10 minutes, 15 minutes after 10. I think it's still a good response time. For now, we cannot say this is the cause of the fire. People might say probably electric spark or something. But if they want fire report, they can send to fire service, then we'll be able to ascertain the real cause of the fire. And even before investigations, many Nigerians are assuming that the leadership crisis in the NFF may be a factor in the incident. But the reinstated president doesn't think so.
And I believe the security agency will take on their course to set up a very, very investigative panel to inquire what actually happened. Don't want to apportion any blame on anybody. So let us take it just from an act of God, and that will facilitate our move to our new secretariat.
NFF Secretary General also ruled out sabotage, but provided more insight into the damage done by the fire.
Important documents, to do with the Federation's activities and programs, were raised, because virtually the archives in terms of all the FIFA videos and technical reports and everything that we have were put in there, before we will now be able to move into our new house. Well, the most important trophies, which is the Africa Cup of Nations and the the FIFA Under-17 World Cup are in the safe upstairs in the office. So, like I said, we will get to the root of this, and then we will find out what actually happened. But I am confident that at the end of the day, that we will get to the root of the matter.
And it's been confirmed that investigations will be carried out on the fire incident. But if the crisis in the NFF is anything to go by, then it may be safe to say that the last has not been heard on the matter.
The Nigerian authorities have paid tributes to the memory of the consultant physician that treated the Index case but later succumbed to Ebola virus on Tuesday night. Health Minister Onyebuchi Chukwu disclosed after the Federal Executive Council meeting that the late Ameyo Adadevo had to physically restrain Patrick Sawyer from leaving the hospital during the treatment. He added that if not for the 58-year-old consultant, the virus would have wreaked havoc in Nigeria by now.
The total number of successfully managed cases who have been discharged home stands at 5. But the total number of deaths, including the Index case, stands at 5 also. Currently, the number of Ebola virus disease cases in Nigeria is 2, made up of 1 doctor and 1 nurse who were part of the team that managed the Index case. And they are presently on treatment at the isolation ward. The latest death occurred yesterday evening, and that's the death of the most senior doctor, a senior consultant physician and endocrinologist at the First Consultant Hospital, Lagos, Dr. Ameyo Adadevo. Regrettably, she lost her life to Ebola virus disease. Of course, she contracted the disease from the American who imported this disease into Nigeria in the course of treating that patient. Indeed, she had to even physically restrain this infected patient, the infected person, from escaping from the hospital when the latter attempted to do so, having been communicated that he was Ebola positive. Indeed, if that Index case had escaped from hospital at that stage, it would have spelled disaster for Nigeria.
Meanwhile, 62 out of 213 secondary contacts on the Ebola watch list of the Lagos State government are set for discharge anytime soon after completing the 21-day follow-up. Following Tuesday's death of the chief medical consultant of First Foundation Hospital in Lagos, Ameyo Adadevo, the state's government has intensified its public awareness campaign on the deadly Ebola virus disease. The State Commissioner for Health, Jide Idris, while commending the heroic deeds of Adadevo and others who died in the line of duty, told journalists that 151 secondary contacts are still on the watch list and undergoing medical attention.
We've had 12 confirmed cases, and on the whole, 5 have died. This includes the death recorded yesterday. We are currently following up 213 contacts. And of course, we're also aware that 62 of the contacts have completed their 21-day follow-up. So they'll be given letter of discharge. Yesterday, we recorded the death of the senior consultant endocrinologist of the First Consultant Hospital, Obalende, Lagos, Dr. Stella Shade Ameyo Adadevo. She it was who took the initiative to intimate the ministry concerning the Index case, the Liberian-American Mr. Patrick Sawyer, and substantially to her credit, the moderate containment achieved we owed to her and her colleagues. She led the team who attended to the Index case, and her doggedness and commitment to duty saw her personally reviewing the case even though the patient had earlier been seen by a doctor. No doubt, she and the other affected health workers are our heroes and heroines of the day. The Ministry of Health and indeed the Lagos State government commiserates with their families, the co-workers, friends and loved ones on these irreparable losses, which, like we all say, was in the line of duty.
The health commissioner, who highlighted the mode of transmission of the deadly virus, admonished persons infected to report early for treatment in order to improve their chances of survival.
Remains committed to containing this outbreak in concert with our partners. I encourage the private health sector to further cooperate with government and promptly report any suspected case. The need for basic universal precaution and barrier nursing should be uppermost amongst our healthcare workers. The government is also prepared to ensure that your businesses will enjoy an ongoing concerned status with our government. And again, say again, for ease of reference, the digital platforms are as we've given before: 0800 Ebola help or 0800 32652 4357. The website still remains the same, www.ebolaalert.org. The facebook.com/EbolaAlert, and the Twitter @EbolaAlert.
In a related issue, Nigeria's health authorities have denied reports of fresh Ebola cases in Lagos. There had been stories earlier in the day about another Liberian who tested positive to the virus in a Lagos hospital. Another report also indicated that there were 5 new cases, but Health Minister insists in a statement issued in Abuja that as at 7 p.m. on Wednesday night, no other Ebola case has been confirmed in Nigeria, outside the 2 patients being treated in Lagos. He added that any new confirmed case of Ebola virus disease will be promptly announced by his office. The police authorities plan to upgrade the 40-bed cottage hospital at the Day Police Barrack to a standard hospital. Inspector General Suleiman Abba disclosed this during a facility tour of the largest police barrack in Abuja. He noted that the hospital would cater for the health needs of police officers as well as members of the public when upgraded. The U.S. government has donated high-tech bomb detecting equipment to the Nigerian police. The donation, according to the American ambassador, James Entwistle, is aimed at helping the police combat terrorism in the country. Items handed over to the police leadership include bomb disposal robot and protective armor. The U.S. envoy assured the police authorities of continuous support in the fight against insurgency. Inspector General of Police Suleiman Abba, on his part, said the police will be better off with the new equipment.
An MOU several weeks ago on training. Today you see the equipment, bomb suits, robots, that kind of thing. All of this underlines that the United States continues to stand with the Nigerian police force. And as the IGP and I were just talking about, this is especially the case today for 2 reasons. One, because of the ongoing counterterrorism struggle in this country, and we stand with you in that. And 2, because of the importance of election security as we head towards your great democratic exercise next February. That is a tremendous challenge. I am confident that that challenge will be met, and as the IGP and I were just talking about, we stand ready to help in every appropriate way.
What I've seen being donated to the Nigeria Police today, I must tell you, reminds me of how I used to feel when I watched the performance of police detectives in the crime investigations channel that I watch almost every day. I must tell you, those were the days anyway. Now I hardly get the time to do that. But every time I watch the performance of those detectives, I used to have 2 feelings. One, I feel happy that police can achieve. But on the other side, I feel bad that I see equipment that I don't see the Nigeria police use it.
Federal government to spend 46.2 billion naira on dam and erosion control projects in the country. Find out details of these and more stories after this timeout. Don't go away.
Nivea Nourishing Body Lotion. Its effective formula with Hydro IQ gives your skin deep and long-lasting nourishment for skin that stays moisturized all day long. Look great, feel great with deeply nourished skin. nourishing body lotion from Nivea.
I'm so happy every day because I'm healthy and strong. Playing, jumping, here I go. Scott's Emotion helps me grow.
A daily dose of Scott's Emotion, which combines omega-3, calcium, vitamins A and D, supports the healthy development of your child's brain and body. Scott's Emotion promotes active minds and strong immunity in growing children. New Scott's orange flavor multivitamin Emotion.
Some say it's a sharp pain. Some might even say it's a shocking pain. And it's usually caused by hot, cold drinks. It definitely affects the quality of life. The treatment for tooth sensitivity can be very simple. Brushing with Sensodyne twice daily will give you long-lasting protection from tooth sensitivity. Sensodyne works inside the tooth and it soothes the nerve, and then the patient will have a relief of their pain. Sensodyne can be used every day. You don't have to use another toothpaste. For me to have a toothpaste that solves that problem so simply is what I like about Sensodyne.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
Thank you for being there. The Federal Executive Council has approved a contract of 31.2 billion naira for the construction of a 40-megawatt electricity project in Taraba State. It's also reaffirmed its commitment to the early completion of erosion control projects estimated at 15 billion naira in the southeastern part of Nigeria. Information Minister Labaran Marco stated this while briefing State House correspondents on the outcome of this week's meeting. Marco and some government officials insist that the projects would be completed on schedule.
Have been deployed, to ensure that we eliminate this virus within our borders, has been going on with the support of Mr. President. So today he asked the Minister of Health to brief us on the latest situation as it relates to the country's effort to contain and eliminate the incidence of Ebola virus disease in our country. So
cancel the contract for award for Kashambila Dam, that is the power segment of 40 megawatts. And the amount is $31.2 billion in favor of, yes, in Naira. So the progress so far we have been making in this sector. By the time when we get 40 megawatts and we evacuate it to the national grid, it is additional. Bearing in mind that in this country we have mixed source of energy. What I mean by mixed is we're generating our energy through thermal and then the hydro. And now that we have, with 40 megawatts coming from the hydro, Kashimbila, it is going to be a long kind of a way in trying to solve the power problem that we have. I'm sure you will know that we have challenges in the gas to power, of which Mr. President has already addressed on that issue. Already, Ministry of Power and Petroleum have, together with NEC and CBN, have signed contract in that respect. And this project, by the time when we have 40 megawatts to the national grid, it will going to complement the existing power that we are generating in the country.
At the time, Mr. President and Council are briefed on the status of those projects. And this is one of those exercises that we have done today in relation to Southeast erosion projects. I'm very certain that within the next 2-3 months, virtually all the 15 projects, phase one of those 15 projects would have been concluded. And then Mr. President would have, true to type, delivered on his commitment to the southeastern states, because this is one of the states that's very dear to his heart, and he has demonstrated it in more words, in more action than words, through deployment of resources. Because in the past, what has happened was that people had made commitments, made pronouncements, but no action was taken.
President Goodluck Jonathan has charged the new head of service, Danladi Kifasi, to build on the ongoing reforms in the federal civil service. He noted that there are still aberrations in the system, but urged Kifasi to ensure that things are done properly. This was the thrust of the message the president delivered to the new head of service at a brief swearing-in ceremony at State House. Also sworn in is Chima Odunze, a commissioner representing Abia and Imo in the Federal Civil Service Commission.
Which is critical. For any government to do well, the civil service is the fulcrum, is the center of activities. And for us to succeed as a nation, there will be absolute discipline and proper conduct in the civil service. That is why your jobs are quite challenging. But from your antecedents, your people, both of you are quite conversant with the operations of the civil service. And we believe that you bring a wealth of experience to bear as you manage the civil service. People must handle government affairs as government affairs, not personal. My observation with people from the little period I've been working in government is that a number of people handle things based on their own thinking, not based on what's the standard practice. There must be standard practice, and your own experience will add to that to make you succeed. But when people keep away from the standard practice and decide to do what they think is right or what they think is wrong, then of course you cannot succeed. We talk about bureaucracy, and if you advise Mr. President wrongly and put his signature on something, the effect of that is critical, and that is why before the president should endorse something or the minister should endorse something, that thing must have been properly filtered by the responsible officers. But over the period, people decide to do things differently. There is a high degree of impunity and misconduct. We charge you, as you are coming to handle these responsibilities, to make sure that the reform in the civil service, of course, reform is a continuous process. It's not a one-off thing. We started to talk about reforms from the days of Obasanjo till today, but we still notice certain aberrations, and I would believe that as the new head of the civil service of the Federation, make sure that things are done properly. Your predecessor did very well. I've worked with so many heads of service.
Ahead the October 15 handover ceremony in Ekiti State, the governor-elect Ayodele Fayose has inaugurated a fact-finding transition committee to review the activities of the state in the last 4 years. Fayose at the inauguration accused the Kayode Fayemi-led administration of plunging the state into huge debt. Rashid has more in this report.
It is a standard practice for every outgoing and incoming government to set up an interface in having a smooth transition. It becomes a little bit difficult, especially where the outgoing government and the incoming belongs to different political parties, as it is the case in Ekiti. In his remark, the governor-elect of Ekiti State, Ayo Fayose, says the transition committee is pertinent in order to have a clear picture of the state's economy.
The assignment is a mere committee to be able to do some findings, to be able to collaborate on the work with the outgoing government to give us the state of the state, financially and otherwise. Get the facts and make it public. Let the public see what is on ground.
Fayose laments what he describes as huge debt profile incurred by the Fayemi-led government.
My findings so far confirms that the outgoing administration led by Governor Kayode Fayemi has put this state into huge, very huge debt. And these debts are ISPO bound. That is, they are irrevocable conditions of payment. On that alone, they are owing close to 15 to 17 billion. It is a very worrisome situation.
The allegations, Fayose thus inaugurates the transition committee consisting of professionals with Dipo Anishulowo as the chairman.
discharge this duty
to discharge this duty
in the fear of God
in the fear of God
and for the benefit
of
our people.
of our people.
God help me.
May God help me.
Weighing the enormity of the task ahead, especially the expected tough interaction between the committee and the state government, Anishilowo says the transition committee will discharge their duties in spite of envisaged obstacles from the state government.
We are not unaware of these challenges, especially the landmines which we are facing from the present government. But we believe that we will be able to go around it.
With the inauguration of the 9-man transition committee from the side of the governor-elect Ayodele Fayose, claims and counterclaims are expected to be flying around as soon as the committee swings to action. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ado-Ekiti.
The National Universities Commission says it needs more funds to carry out its task of properly supervising Nigeria's universities. This was the message the NUC management delivered to members of the House Committee on Education during an oversight visit. NUC says it needs over 400 million naira to carry out accreditation of courses in Nigerian universities. But the lawmakers are not comfortable with the Commission's expenditure pattern.
For me, I'm not sure your priority should have been publication and advertisement. I agree that you needed to communicate. I agree that you needed to, as much as possible, call attention to those ills that are being perpetrated by proprietors of an illegal school. But I hold very strongly to the opinion that since accreditation is your major responsibility, this huge sum that you have expended, about 108 million in 2013, as against 51 million in accreditation, it should have been reversed in favor of accreditation.
Like if you see most of those advertisements, they are targeted at solving some problems. We want to alert the public. And as long as we want to make sure that Nigerians are sensitized to some of those problems, we need to, to put up advertisement, because that is the quickest way to do it. If you grant interview, without apology to, or maybe with apology to the press, they choose where to put it. It won't be as detailed as when you take up paid advertisement and you enlighten the public.
As part of efforts to make higher education accessible to all, the West African Examination Council has introduced a walk-in candidate initiative for the private candidates writing the November-December 2014 West African School Certificate Examination. Olajumoke Olatuji has more.
Education is regarded as a positive instrument for national development. It is based on the development of the individual into a sound and effective citizen, and the provision of equal opportunities for all citizens of the nation at the primary, secondary and tertiary levels, both inside and outside the formal school system. In this respect, the West African Examinations Council has introduced a walk-in candidate for the November-December 2014 examinations for private candidates. This innovation is to enable interested students who are unable to register during the normal registration period.
The West African Examinations Council in Nigeria, for the first time, we are introducing with the November-December examination what we call walk-in candidates. By this facility, candidates who were unable to register before now will have the opportunity to register for the examinations as walk-in candidates beginning from Tuesday, August 26, 2014, and continue throughout the duration of the examination. The registration fee for walk-in candidates will be 25,000 naira. All walk-in candidates should also note that this facility will be available in designated centers across the Federation. And they are to sit the examination where we have our offices and the centers are available.
This initiative will further strengthen the opportunities open to Nigerians for higher education. Olajumoke Olatunji, CoreTV News, Lagos.
It's the CoreTV Primetime News. We'll take another break, and when we return, it will be Bimbo Fagade with the business news.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website, www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
Nigerians continue to travel the city of Lagos.
There is still a poor level of
Be the first to know. From the north, south, east, west, and around Africa, we break the news.
One Nigeria.
Now you can catch all the actions live as the news breaks. We are CoreTV News.
Welcome to CoreTV,
a 24-hour news station.
And thanks for joining us tonight on Business News. My name is Bimbo Fagade. The federal government says it has reduced the cost of registering small and medium-scale enterprises with the Corporate Affairs Commission by 60%. The Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Olusegun Aganga, disclosed this while speaking at the 8th Annual Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Finance Conference. Aganga says the directive for the reduction of the business registration cost was given by President Goodluck Jonathan, adding that the development underscored the importance of the sector to poverty reduction, job creation and inclusive growth. He said since SMEs accounted for about 80% of businesses registered with the CAC, as well as contributing about 50% to the country's gross domestic product, there is a need to remove all factors that will impede their development. Aganga says the administration has made it a matter of importance to support MSMEs in certain key areas such as access to affordable finance, access to markets, formalization of businesses, skill acquisition, and provision of infrastructure to reduce the cost of doing business for SMEs. Chinese hackers have stolen social security numbers, names, and addresses from 4.5 million patients of Community Health System, the second biggest for-profit United States hospital chain. The attacks occurred in April and June, the Franklin, Tennessee-based company said on Tuesday in a United States regulatory filing. Reports say that the hacker group originated from China and bypassed the company's security system, making off with non-medical information from people who visited doctors' offices associated with the company. The Chinese embassy in Washington says it's not aware of the attack. Federal authorities and security experts have been tracking the Chinese state-sponsored group they believe is responsible for the breach over a period of several years. This is the first time the group has been linked to the theft of the kind of personal data in which cyber criminals specialize, according to investigations. The Nigerian currency remains unchanged at 162.15 naira to the greenback at Wednesday's market close, as dealers maintain their position in anticipation of US dollar supply from oil companies next week. The unit closed at 162.13 naira the previous day, broadly at the same level as Wednesday. The naira gained 0.11% on Monday after some lenders sold the greenback to stay within a regulatory limit. Dealers say demand for hard currency has weakened after an initial rise last week as importers locked in at favorable exchange rates following a recent naira rally. The local currency eased to a 5-week low against the US dollar 2 weeks ago, but recovered some ground last week after some oil companies sold the greenback, including the state-owned oil firm NNPC. And on stock reports, equity transaction on the Nigerian Stock Exchange ended on a negative note. The NSE also depreciated by 22.61 points to close lower at 41,789.56 basis points. Market capitalization dropped to close lower at 13,799 trillion naira. In all, a total of 192 million shares valued at 1.83 billion were exchanged in 4,477 deals. Report shows that Fort Oil PLC topped the Gators chart, followed by Guinness Nigeria PLC, Granted Trust Bank PLC, WAPCO PLC, and Uwando PLC. On the other hand, Sepla PLC led the losers chart, followed by Nestle Food PLC, Nigeria Bureaus PLC, Stanbic IBTC PLC, and Presco PLC. Meanwhile, here are the top 5 trades. And that's it on Business News tonight. My name is Bimbo Fagade. Branson Iwana is on standby to give you updates on sports.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website, www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then news. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
Our style, that's what he delivered. Here's that ball, storming, Puyol with a flying lead.
Bo taking them out in the lead immediately.
A very big thanks for joining us on Sport News tonight. I am Brownson Wana. Manchester United have announced the £16 million signing of Argentina international defender Marcos Rojo on a 5-year contract. The 24-year-old joins from Sporting Lisbon, with Nani joining the Portuguese club on a season-long loan. The left-side defender played in 6 games as Argentina reached this summer's World Cup finals in Brazil. Rojo arrival strengthens manager Luis van Gaal's defensive options. Barcelona will be unable to sign players until January 2016 once the current transfer window shuts, after World Football Governing Body FIFA banned the club for 14 months. The Spaniards were given the 14-month ban after being found to have breached rules of signing international players under the age of 18. It was suspended after they appealed, allowing them to sign Luis Suarez. Barcelona will now take the case to Court of Arbitration for Sports Cars. The ban will start in next transfer window early next year, which means the summer acquisition will be unaffected. Finally, on sport news tonight, former Juventus boss Antonio Conte has vowed to restore World Cup flop Italy to the traditional status as the major power in international football. Conte, who quit Juventus in July after leading them to 3 consecutive Italian titles, has inherited a squad that was left reeling for a shock first-round defeat in Brazil. But the 45-year-old successor to Cesar Prandelli believes he can revive the fortune of the Azzurris just as he did to Juventus. And that's a wrap on Sport News tonight. My name is Brownson Wana. Very big thanks for watching.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website, www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then news. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
One continent, 54 countries, over 2,000 languages, but united with similar interests. As news breaks, we give you in-depth analysis around Africa every Monday on CoreTV News.
Thank you so much for being there. And now to other stories outside Nigeria. Emergency service says 20 Palestinians have been killed and at least 120 wounded by Israeli strikes across Gaza since the collapse of a temporary truce. Among the dead were the wife and infant son of Hamas military chief Mohammed Deif, killed when a strike demolished a 6-story house in Gaza City. The latest violence raised the overall death toll in Gaza to at least 2,038, with more than 10,300 people wounded. Among those killed were 3 women, one of them heavily pregnant, and 9 children. The number includes the woman's unborn baby, whom medics tried but ultimately failed to save. The violence resumed in the morning on Tuesday when 3 rockets struck southern Israel, with the Air Force hitting back with strikes, which continued through the night and into Wednesday. Rescue workers on Wednesday also pulled the bodies of a 48-year-old woman and a 14-year-old boy from the rubble. Shortly before dawn, an airstrike hit a home in Deir al-Bala in central Gaza, killing 8, among them the pregnant woman, her unborn baby, 3 children and 3 men. Later in the morning, another child, aged 4, was killed along with a man in his 20s in a strike on Zaytun in southern Gaza City. 4 other men were killed in 3 separate strikes. 2 of them died when a missile hit their motorcycle in the northern town of Beit Lahia. At their funeral, both were wrapped in green Hamas flags, indicating they were militant. Fierce fighting between government forces and pro-Russian rebels left dozens of civilians dead on Wednesday as Ukrainian troops pushed on with a bloody offensive to break the insurgency in the east of the country. Deadly battles to crush the alien rebellion appeared to intensify ahead of a fresh round of diplomatic haggling that will see the presidents of Russia and Ukraine sit down next week for their first meeting in months. Regional authorities say clashes in Donetsk region, one of the 2 separatist areas, have killed 34 civilians since Tuesday as troops reclaimed another town from the rebels. In the city of Magiyivka, adjoining the main rebel bastion,
I don't know how I was able to get out.
residents were
There was an
woken up by
explosion.
shelling.
I was opening the door and that's how the shockwave of the explosion broke the door. I don't remember how, but I was on the 4th floor and I ended up on the 3rd floor. I was pushed from the 4th floor to the 3rd floor. If we get out of this situation alive, we'll kill Poroshenko first. I don't care if they take me to court for it. I'm 81 years old and I don't want anything. I don't want anything out of this world. I've buried 7 people. How do you want us to live? We don't have a salary anymore, no gas, no water, no electricity. What else? How are we supposed to live? They should just kill us already. What should we turn to? Where? Who should we ask for shelter? I have nobody. I come from Makivka, I was born in Makivka, and so did my parents. Where should I go?
That's been the show on CoreTV Primetime News tonight. And on behalf of the entire news crew, I am Ebulomo Adekunle, wishing you a pleasant night rest. Thanks for watching.